Welcome to our lives.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're here. Hi, welcome to Talk Comics to Me. I'm Champ Champenstein.
I am Heather Hadfield.
And Heather had quite the week full of comics, but I did want to mention one more time my Black and Pink fundraiser.
There's a fundraiser going on.
For Opportunity Campus. It helps LGBTQ, IA, S2 plus youths who are system impact, and I don't know, it's just like a really important thing because, you know, lots of those people are usually, you know, kicked out of their homes. A lot of them end up in prisons or in the system, and it's important to give those people support so we don't lose them.
Give them your money.
Give them your money.
You don't need it.
And that's me. And by them, I mean Black and Pink as well. So I will put the link in the thing again. I'll put it in our bio as well. I think I already did on Instagram. So please go donate money, $5, $1. I don't care. It's cool. And for those of you who have donated, because I have seen your names out there, thank you so much. It's a huge, huge thing for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. The longer you talk, the longer I don't have to.
All right, so now we are going to get into it, as always. So thanks for joining us. Heather, take it over.
All right, I'm just gonna... I can't even snap because I messed up my thumb. I told you I need my thumb for everything. I can barely snap as it is, so I don't know why I was... Okay. I have The Modern Frankenstein. This is issue number 1. This is a heavy metal Magna Comics joint. This is about a brilliant surgeon who is in love with her weird doctor, Dr. Frankenstein. It's just a modern take on Frankenstein, but with romance. You know I'm into it.
Yeah.
It was actually really interesting.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, it was, she's moving up in the world, and a lot of people think it's because the Dr. Frankenstein favors her, but she actually is brilliant. So at one point he's like, look, I need to show you what I've been working on. It's human trials of things, basically. I want to bring you into it. I want you to expand beyond what you are doing now because I believe in you. And
right.
So she agrees to do it. But it says the next issue... Let me just see if it says it in here. It's just going to be romantic. He's not wearing... His shirt is unbuttoned, and she's got her arms around him.
Yeah, it looks like a romance novel cover.
I'm excited. A sexy Frankenstein?
Did you put it on your poll?
Yes, I absolutely did. Right after today.
Yeah, because I was like, I remember you only had special ordered it, so I was like, don't forget.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have to start doing that during the podcast. All right, we got to pop on to previews.
I'll be right back. It happened while I was at work. I was just like, I can't remember what I was doing, playing around on TCG or something, and I said, I'll be right back, and I had to go grab my computer just so I could, like, add stuff to my poll. Otherwise, I would have forgotten, because Wendy was busy, and otherwise I usually am just like, hey, can you add this, like, while I'm thinking about it? But I didn't want to bother her, because I've been doing it all day. Just, hey, can you add me the B covers for this instead of 8? I was annoying myself, so I went and grabbed my computer and added it. So next I have... this is Snatched. This is issue number 1. This is just about the racism and misogyny and classism within the hair community. This was a really weird book to read because I understand the story, like the idea, the information, but the way that it went about telling the story was just strange. I think I am going to get the second issue because I'm curious, because it is very violent, and I did like the violence in it, and there's like a few different storylines kind of going on, and it's obviously going to merge, and you get to figure out what is happening. But I'm invested in one of the storylines in particular, so I don't know, it's like a weird horror... current news. I'm trying to think of like the best way to...
Yeah.
I don't know. This is Snatched. This one I had to look up because I couldn't remember what it was about when I knew it. I had just special ordered the first one.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so I have bottom fours. I got this a while back. I have just finally kind of come onto some time to read other things for fun outside of school. And I think that the front of it is the only one that describes it as gentrification horror at its finest, but it is that wraps it up in itself. It's a gentrification horror book. It's basically about a young artist moving into where her family grew up, or like where she was born, which is just like a bad part of town, and she's an art student. A new landlord has bought the building that some older person has been living there forever, and like is being pushed out because he's trying to bring in, you know, like new fresh blood, all of these sorts of things. And she is a fashion designer, ends up meeting up with somebody to like try to sell her stuff, and she ends up, like, her white friend tells her about how the fashion woman she's like showing her stuff to, about how like she just moved into the bottom fours, like how like dangerous and seedy it is, but how she lives next to this really famous DJ. Just like all of those really like classic signs of white people moving into your neighborhood, rich white people moving into your neighborhood. So it's I'm only about halfway through. It's really, really great. The colors and the art are really, really, really good. I really like. It's hard to describe the colors and how the art works, but it's just like so bright and at times dark. Like when it's showing darkness, it's still bright but still dark. It's really great in its balance. Nice little book by Ezra Clayton Daniels and Ben Passmore. I don't know if you remember that Ezra Clayton Daniels had come to the shop few years back now to do signings when he had
what was the book? Because I'm recognizing the name.
Now I'm blanking on what the other book is called.
Was it something about like a head?
Yeah, it was like the orange cover, and it had like the guy and it had a green face.
I remember now because you had me send you the pictures.
Yeah. So
I met him.
Yeah, I was saying.
I shook his hand and everything.
I unfortunately didn't read that book, but if it's anything like this book, I'm definitely going to start like checking out more of his work, just because it's really, really good, really relevant, and I'm really excited to finish this to see where it goes. Because I do like the like combination of like what it's doing and then like, you know, the little bit of horror elements to it.
Is it like that subtle kind of horror?
Yeah, and it's also just like that weird like building is alive or building has weird gross things growing out of it sort of thing. You know, like it has that body horror element in its own like in its own way.
It was right there. I almost had it.
I'll look it up real fast. Just give us a whole 10 seconds. Because in my head I'm like, it has old in it, doesn't it?
I thought it had pound. I don't know. We're never going to figure it out.
You're right. We will never figure it out.
Pull it up.
I'm trying. I'm on his website.
Writer.
Where? I can't click on
menu. We're old. Sorry.
Upgrade Soul is what the book is called. I said
pound and you said old. We were both kind of right.
Upgrade Soul.
At least we could both imagine the picture.
Yeah, we got the cover exactly right. If you can
even
see
though
this.
We didn't even talk about the cover.
Yeah. No, we did. That's what we were talking about.
I know, but we didn't describe it at all. We just said, yeah, the cover.
It's okay. Really great writer. That's what we do know. That is what we figured out this week.
Okay, so I'm just gonna keep talking about comics because I love us.
This is Deadly Class. This is issue number 45. This has been on a hiatus.
Yeah, for like a year.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a grip of time for sure.
A hot minute.
So this just picks up where... This doesn't just pick up.
No, it definitely does not just pick up. It picks up about, like 9 years down the line.
So we're still following Marcus, but it's 1991 now. He's still a fucking pretentious prick.
Almost more than he was then, and which I get it, but like just chill.
Yeah, it is like
Babe wants to talk to you, just handle it.
Yeah, just like I don't know, just bang it, get out of there if that's what you want.
Yeah, you don't need to drag him in. She's clearly interested.
Yeah, and she's a teenager, so like it
perfect for him.
It takes zero effort. I don't. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, I was as a teen.
I have no idea because I've never tried to hit on teenagers. Let me clarify that right now. Jesus Christ. Deadly Class, write good violent book.
It's like dangerous and sexy. I can't.
Just like my alternate persona.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, there's just Marcus being a dick. You don't really get to know what happened to anyone else from the battle on the hill. Yeah, I don't know if that's what it was, but that's what I'm going to call it.
Just the previous story arc.
Yeah. You just know that at this point, it's making it seem like he's the only one who kind of made it out alive. But there's like some flashbacks of just people, not situations. I loved the last page, though, I do have to say.
Yeah, no, I just, like, that's one of the things about this book I love the most is the art and colors are so great. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's part of the reason in the panel setups, like, that really drew me into this book, like, to begin with. And just the fact that it is, like, hyper violent. Like,
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. This issue... Sorry, I can't stop. I am. It's very violent, and I like that. And I still like that, despite the fact that it is a certain amount of years from when he was a youngin'. I don't know why I said that. He still talks like a child.
Yeah, no, he definitely still feels like fixated in this place and time, and just like who he thinks he is. But I don't know. Like,
he's the most miserable. No one else can be miserable.
Yeah, and I think it's like I told you. It's like I weirdly like hate Marcus. Like I feel like he had hit this point where he was like almost not enjoyable, but I feel like he was like learning.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, did you just not learn anything? No. And also, just like stop messing with chicks, dog.
It's just bad news for him.
If you can't handle it, just stop messing with it. Just like leave it alone.
He's just a piece of poop. But so next.
Tell me about it.
I have tons of number ones this week and number twos, surprisingly. So I didn't pick an order. I just threw them together. So this is Summoner's War Legacy. This is issue number 1. I just special ordered this kind of as a joke to myself because this is based off of a game.
As a joke to myself.
Yeah. So the thing about this game is my little brother-in-law.
Is it online or is it?
It's an app essentially. Okay. Like it's. I always played it on my phone. So my younger brother-in-law, he is a huge nerd. Love him, Gage, sweetie. So he got me into this game. He was obsessed with it. Would like spend money in the app and level up, do whatever you do, and that was how me and him like bonded for a while. So I would play this game and I was very much fixated by it. I believe it was a game first.
I would say
the game I played the game, oh god, years ago. I was still living in Lincoln and working at least 7 years ago. Okay. Was when I was playing the game. But yeah, it's just a game where you collect monsters, you level them up, and you can summon them to fight and gain more monsters.
So it's like Pokemon?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It's just the monsters are grown. The monsters are grown-ups.
Oh, so you don't like get a level or grow them up with you?
You do kind of, but it's like Pokemon is like soft. It's for like children, clearly for children.
Rude.
It's coming from someone who still buys Pokemon cards, like. But this is. When you see the monsters and stuff, it's like you can tell the difference. Like these ones look like hard, like we play basketball after dark, like kind of monsters. Whereas like Pokemon are like we have to come in when the street lights come on, like kind of monsters.
So,
Sorry, this lasted way longer than I wanted it to. This is basically just a story about a mage who is summoning monsters.
Okay.
That's it. That's literally it. And the monsters are based off of the game, and that's where the name comes from, is Summoner's War.
All right, dude. I think that's the theme for today. This lasted way longer than I wanted it to.
Yeah, and I'm about to get real into this one now. Do you want to go, or do you want me to?
No,
because I have two. So.
I mean, oh yeah. Whatever.
We can just take turns. Let's go back and forth.
Okay, so I'm gonna just touch on this briefly. I think you all know or some of you know how I feel about this book. This is crossover. This is issue number 6. This wraps up this story arc. I just don't like this book. This issue...
Can I see?
Yeah, I basically described it to a friend as, like, a Ready Player One of image characters. It's just, like, any image character you could think of, they just, like, shove that bitch in there. It's there. Even the zombies from The Walking Dead. That's a lot.
I just, like, rolled my eyes.
I think on its surface, it could be a really interesting idea. Like I've said many times before, for me, it just fails because it really plays into, like, Donny Cates' tropes. Just the way he really loves, like, putting his own work into stuff. How he kind of just... I don't know what it is. It just feels so weak. And it's unfortunate because I do think it's, like... It has the bones. It could be really, like, interesting. And I think it has moments where it could be more, but it just doesn't.
Cute. I need to know, for real, though, how is the romance in here?
Not good.
Because I love this dude's sweater and tie combo.
I just think...
But I would not let him hold my hand.
I think it's at one of those things where, especially at this point, where it's like, she's not going to trust him. They're going to go into this fight or this battle together. She's finally let up her, like, big secret. And now, like, I think this point is, like, where everything kind of builds for them, like, relationship-wise, based on romance. So, I don't know. It's a beautiful book. Honestly, it looks great. I'm just not a huge fan of the story. And just like the fool I am, because our best friend Chip is writing the next issue, I am getting the next issue. I just want to see, like, basically I just want to see what Chip does, like, where, because I feel like he can't be following necessarily the same story. Once again, it just kind of falls into this cliche that I don't really like, but, like, you look at the dudes I know. It's like, you know, every band in Omaha.
Look, I played that card. I play that card all the time. You know who I'm married to?
And I mean, you know, we make a joke about Chip being our best friend all the time, but...
Look, we talked to him for like 2 hours. We set a date.
And the year anniversary of that is coming up, so, you know, check out our YouTubes and watch that interview. It's a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. He made me laugh.
Did make me laugh.
He's our best friend.
He's our best friend.
Okay. I have Jim Henson's The Storyteller Tricksters, tale number 2 of 4. This is,
Is this your spider one?
No. Anansi the Spider was the first one. This is about, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, and I really don't want to because the story was really interesting. Eshu?
I didn't read it.
And I just looked this up to see, like, the correct, like, pronunciation and, like, where exactly the story takes place, but I can't remember right now. All I could remember is one of the countries that's within this region is Nigeria. So, was it Nigeria? Yeah, I believe it was Nigeria, because it's, like, stuck in my head, so it has to be that. Anyway, this is another...
balance this out with me before we started.
I know, I should have told you. I should have mentioned it to you. Anyway, this is a story about the trickster god of... I'm so sorry.
I can't believe you hit
I'm so sorry. The trickster god of this culture, and his name is Eshu. Well, shoot. I wish I could just figure it out. Anyway, basically there is a young girl, and she summons this god and is like, hey, I need you to help me. I am in love with this man, and he is, like, the best man within the village, but he doesn't notice me. So I want to write stories about you, like tapestries about you, so that people will notice you. And if I get people to notice you, you can help me in this and trick this man into loving me. It's such a good story. I love it so much. Obviously, there's more to the story. She's more of a trickster than the god was, and she tricked him. And that's how certain devotees came to be, and certain gods are actually mentioned now. So I really, really like these stories. I liked when they did the ghosts. Mm-hmm. I loved the first issue of that, but I just didn't keep up with it because I wasn't, like, super invested. But these are really good. I like them. I did not just throw my comic. Shoot, I'm not going to sell that now.
Alright, so now we have Once in Future. This is issue number 18. We will not go much.
Oh my god.
Are you going to throw another one? Jeez, dude.
I'm all about the distraction of comics.
Got some hot hands today. So this is issue number 18. Not going to go too far into this book just because it is the end of a story arc, and we're pretty deep into the story. Duncan, Bridget, Rose are all on the fight against Merlin, and this is honestly probably my favorite issue of Once in Future.
It's really good because there's a twist in it that I kind of was not expecting at all. Like, I knew that the guard or the soldier or whatever, like, he was up to something fishy, but that's not what I was expecting. I thought he was just, like, suspicious.
I just, like, there is one particular page set that I loved here just because I wasn't expecting something to happen, and when it did, I screamed on the top of my lungs.
It's so
and
cool.
Was just, like, several times because it's so good. And
the fact that he says that, too, while doing it,
it's just, like... Yeah, he's just so... It's so good. It's so good. And I gotta talk about this page real fast because I'm a sucker for just, like, out of frame, changing the page comics pages, and I loved this. I loved it so much. Enough can't be said about Dan Mora or Tamara Bonvillain. Just, like, fucking art and colors on this book are just out of this goddamn world. Would you say they're otherworld? God damn it, dude. Get the fuck out of my house. Get out. I can't do this. I would say they're otherworld if that pleases you.
Okay, it does. I love it. It just tickled me.
Because it's just, I don't think I've ever read a book like this. And there are a lot of books where I love the art. I think that's something that brings me to a lot of comics. But every time, it just feels like they both, like, put their goddamn life soul into this book. And it's just like, how does it look this good? Like, how do the colors look this great? How does the art look this great? It's like...
It's colors that also should not look that good together. Like, when you look at them separately, yeah, they're, like, good colors, but it's like, those shouldn't work as well as they do. Like, the pinks and the blues especially, like, just the way that... They're bright!
I was saying, for such a, like, for the content of the book itself and, like, what the story is about, that's also something that's interesting about the colors, is that, like, it's almost... like, opposite of what you would think of a book like this.
Right. Like, because when I look at those colors, I think of wind.
Yeah,
for some reason, like, when I see them, like, yeah, these colors would look real good with that story wind.
Yeah, because you just think, you're thinking bright, happy, like, all of these things, joyous, like...
Baby, boy, girl.
Little boy, baby boy. It's really, really interesting. And yeah, Dan Mora is just such a beast. Like, every day.
My man.
Day. Like, I don't know how he does it.
I don't know, with just, like, that cute smile on his face, too. Like, I just imagine him... I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but his little profile picture is adorable because he's just... And that's the face that I imagine on him when he's drawing all the time. Like, I cannot get it out of my head that this dude is probably just, like, the sweetest man ever with just that smile on his face all the time. And for him to draw this kind of stuff pleases me greatly.
Yeah, so honestly, I think this would be a book both Heather and I would highly, highly suggest for anyone. I think especially if you do enjoy any sort of, like, King Arthur stories, any sort of, like, English mythology, folklore, like, it really delves deep into those things in, like, a very interesting way. And I think as somebody who isn't, like, super into those things, but also just, like, gleam the surface of all of those, it does a great job of explaining itself, and it does make you kind of want to find a way to, like, get into those books or, like, those, like, stories.
I can send you a bunch of stuff. Like,
I don't have time.
One day.
You can send them to me. I'll put them on my book, and then they're there.
Okay.
Forever.
Okay, cool. I got some... I'm going to send you some good ones. Okay, I have... Can you see?
Down. Go down. You can't...
Hey, there's, like, a weird glare on it.
Yeah, because of the light.
Okay.
We'll have to figure out our... we just switched rooms because there's actual couch in here.
Yeah, whoever lived here must have known that we were coming over, because that's like all that's in this room is just this couch. So they were like, those freaks are probably going to break into our house again. It's Thursday.
We have a bunch of boxes other places.
There's like a couch and then a table, like a square table. It's real small for if you want to play cards with children. I have Critical Role. This is
You're really funny.
Thank you. I've been telling people that for years, and I'm the only one who believes me. Vox Machina Origins. This is series 3. This is issue number 2. This just follows the Vox Machina as they are going through a trial, just fighting a bunch of other groups for money. It's just like a little competition. That's seriously all it is.
Like a Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, that's exactly like it. I know you watched that movie.
I did watch that movie. You know I watched that movie.
I love Vox Machina when it comes to Critical Role. I like the Mighty Nine too, that has 2 of my favorite characters in it, but this has Vex, and there is something I have to say about this art, which is I absolutely love it. I think that it just captures these characters so well. Look how good Percy looks! I can't. This art is just really good. I love this. I love them. They are good. They are nice. He's my favorite. Can you tell?
The one in all black with a gray fur collar.
Yeah, there's an elf and he is like a crow.
No.
Who would have thought?
That tracks.
Yeah, that's seriously all the issue's about, so I'm not going to waste any more time on that. Do you want to go?
No. Do you want me to go?
I want you to talk about that book. I've been waiting for it all day. I've been holding back from asking about it.
I should have gone more into detail about what happened in the book itself. So this is issue number 48. This is last issue of Outcast, my friends.
Champ did it.
I did it.
Champ did it. Every single issue.
I made it. I made it to the end, and honestly, I didn't think I was going to. I figured I was going to stop. I didn't.
I can't believe this. If you're at home right now, if you're watching this, let's 3-second round of applause.
The last issue of this came out in December.
You looked that up?
I did look that up. It came out December 23rd. I don't know what... I hope it was the art that took this long, because, the art's great. I think, if anything, the best part of this book is the art. I love the art.
Or, fart.
This story just took way too long to, wrap itself up. It could have easily finished within, 12 issues and done exactly the same thing. I don't want to, play out that I hated this book, especially towards the end, because I really did. But I do, I think, the first half of it was enjoyable. I liked the elements that they were introducing, because I do love, an interesting, possession story, and it had, those things that were really great about it. But yeah, once again, it just did not need to last that long, and it could have done the ending that Robert Kirkman had in his head since the beginning. Because that's one of the things, a lot of times he says is, I've always known how this is going to end. So it's you could have just ended it, and that would have been just, totally fine. That's it. I know the book kind of started out as, a TV pitch, which is always kind of unfortunate in its own self, but... For me, personally, sometimes.
I didn't like that ending either.
Yeah, it's,
I've never read any of the book, and I did not like that ending.
Honestly, and it's, the whole, climax happened, the last issue, so this issue was just, the downward, okay, here's where everybody goes, here are all the pieces. It's just... I don't know, man. Like I said, did not need to go that long. They could have introduced characters they wanted to introduce earlier, filled it out more, made it, or at least made it more enjoyable, because there's too many issues where nothing happened, or it just didn't build story.
It was just filler.
It's just filler.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened from I'm gonna be rude, issue 20.
I remember you've been talking shit for a while.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that's the weird thing about Robert Kirkman. it's part of the reason I don't want to get into Invincible, even though I've had so many people tell me so many good things about Invincible.
It's just so long.
It is really long, but I also just, like, I don't have confidence in Robert Kirkman. I've read a lot of Robert Kirkman stuff, and I just don't. I enjoy it to a point, and then it's like, okay, but you've said this, so let's move on.
Get it going.
Or just, like, end it. Like, I think that's something I really enjoy about Rick Remender books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, short of Deadly Class, like, most of his books have an ending, and they end fairly quickly, or at least, like, to a point where you're like, yes, this is where this book should be ending.
It doesn't have an unnecessary drag out.
Yeah. So,
ow, sorry.
I mean, read, like, the first few trades of Outcast until they kill the first main villain, and then just hop on off, because that's where everything kind of goes downhill. You okay?
No. I have so many books left to talk about. All right.
I'm just gonna chill.
All right, I'll take the wheel. This is Cold Dead War. This is issue number 2. This is a heavy metal book. This is not a joint. This is about a group of zombie soldiers fighting Nazis. It reminded me of that movie that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier and I meant to look it up, but forgot about it. What is that movie called?
I don't... The one with...
Overlord.
What?
Overlord.
Yeah.
Overlord. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks for eavesdropping. Overlord. It really reminded me of that, except the Nazis aren't, like, super powered mutants. It's literally just
Zombies.
dead zombies fighting Nazis.
So does this...
Nazis that had survived from the war.
Okay, thank you.
Joseph Mengele is one of the doctors.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't mean it like that. I just think that seems really...
This is how I read this book. This was literally how I read the book. I can't tell you a conversation that they had in here. I was mostly looking at the pictures. Because at this point, I was just giving it a try because it's a Romero book, and 14-year-old Heather just fucking loved it. I love Romero. It's not that it's a bad story. It's just I don't care.
Yeah.
Although I do love a good Nazi killing. As in killing Nazis. Not Nazis killing.
Yeah, no, I thought...
Okay. I just... My word could have been misconstrued. Yeah. I just love watching Nazis get killed.
We're Jack Kirby's here.
There it is. So I'm just going to keep going. This is Dragon Age. This is Dark Fortress. This is issue number 2. This is just a continuance from the previous issue.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. Fenris is basically trying to interrupt the ceremony that had, at one point, done what it had done to him, which was fill his body with lyrium tattoos that kept him as a slave. They're trying to perfect it, and they're also trying to do it before the Kunari get there, and if you know what the Kunari is, you know why that was a bad idea. They're gonna kill everyone. They're bad. They're bad men. I absolutely, of course, will always love anything, no matter how weird the story is, and especially if it has Fenris in it, because, come on, let's be real.
I know you love Fenris. I do know that.
He can do that and rip your heart out.
That?
Well, Delirium does this really cool thing where he can, like, push his hand through you and not do any harm, but if he wants to, he can just pull that heart right out.
So, like, weird rogue powers?
Yeah.
Not rogue powers.
I mean, essentially, yeah. It, like, makes him just go, but, like, not be there. You know? He's got a huge sword, and I actually mean sword. It's not...
I do.
What? It's like twice the size of his body.
I feel like... I mean, I guess maybe our audience doesn't know you meant a real sword.
That's why I had to clarify. Just in case.
Okay.
Speaking of big swords.
We got Helm Greycastle. This is issue number 1. This was a interesting little read. This is kind of a Hispanic take on an RPG.
Yeah.
Or like a... Not an RPG. I guess there is an RPG in the back that is the same, but it's a...
It's like a
fantasy story.
Yeah. With a mission.
Yeah, it's really... I don't know, we had this conversation earlier. it's the verbiage and the dialogue is a little, I guess, yeah, stilted is the right word. It's just not, the cadence doesn't hit the way I think it's supposed to.
So the more I think about it, the more it kind of sounds like when you are playing like any sort of RPG, like video games, say for example, you have the choice to make certain dialogue, but you have to listen to other people talk first before you give your own answer. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like
yeah, I get that.
The pre-recorded dialogue between characters, like NPCs and stuff. It's like watching them talking.
The story is interesting. A dragon prince gets kidnapped, and then this, I guess, ragtag team of...
It's always a ragtag team.
heroes doesn't decide they need to go, like, save him from the enemy, and there are other things at play here
Within the kingdom.
There we go.
It's a kingdom.
It's a kingdom.
Stuff is going on.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the art quite a bit, though.
Yeah, no, the art was really good. And I'm interested in the story. I think it's an interesting twist on, like, RPGs. But, it was just the dialogue that was weird to me. I was feeling like they were trying to bring me into it, but I couldn't just quite get past that bubble.
Yeah, and I think maybe the thing is, too, is it's, like, a fantasy book, so... I feel like I almost went into it with, like, okay, the dialogue, the way it's written, it's going to be, like, fantasy. And this is definitely not it.
Right.
Like, it feels like, you know, kind of like a regular old book.
Just a normal, average, everyday book.
Just in its writing.
Yeah. I get that.
Not that that's a bad thing. You got this. You got this.
Okay. So next I have Witchblood. This is issue number 2.
Is it better than the last issue?
No.
Oh, no.
But it wasn't, like, worse.
Oh.
It was just, it was just kind of, like, another part of the story. So the injured witch from the very first issue, Yana, she kind of goes to a healer to get fixed, and this healer happens to be her friend, and she's like, oh, I don't care about the witches anymore. I'm doing my own thing. And the healer reminds her that, like, you have a community. These are people who are here to help you. I didn't have to save your life. Help us. Because the vampires are going around drinking witch blood.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
She has to get to her leader, I guess. I want to say it's like a witch mom to her, essentially. But the vampires kind of get there first, so there's like a cute little... I said cute. I didn't mean cute at all. There's a scuffle.
There's a cute little scuffle.
There's a cute little scuffle, you know, some dead. That's it. Whatever.
Some people die, some people live, you know, that's how cute little scuffles go.
Yeah. But I think this is going to be the weird little catalyst that gets Yana to do what she's supposed to be doing. So, again, it wasn't better than the other one, but it definitely wasn't worse. I just don't know, other than, like, the art, if I truly care.
Just kind of like middle of the road.
I do. So I like the bad guys. I like the vampires. I think they are a very weird group of people. And I would much prefer if the story was told from their point of view rather than Yana's. Because they're obviously the bad guys, so they have to show from the good guys' perspective. Yeah. I wish it had been the opposite, where it was like you were following Pax, because that dude is cool as hell. If I ever saw that guy, I'd be like, okay, kill me. Like, make me a vampire, please. Like, I want to travel with you. Where did you get your coat? But that's just me.
And then he's like, oh, I got it at H&M. Don't worry.
Yeah, Patrick, that's probably a good idea. I'm only doing it because I like vampires and witches, and I like reading most stories about them. But I definitely would not recommend this to most people.
Yeah, and I fell off the first issue, too, just because it wasn't very strong. And then the story was also kind of like... Meh. I feel like if I was maybe 10 years younger... Yeah,
oh, definitely. It's like the same audience who would have read Blackbird.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect, dude. Yeah.
I'm nailing it
Yeah,
today.
You got that.
Okay, so next this is the last issue of Frank at Home on the Farm. Frank is going crazy with all these animals talking to him, which I don't blame him. I had a horse that looked like that just screaming in my face. Yeah, this book is brutal, and I actually really love it. But he discovers what happened to his family, which was his parents and then his younger brother.
All the farm animals kill him?
Yeah, kill him? Essentially, yeah. Well, that's what they have you believe. There's a twist at the end that I was just like, but the twist was like,
you're gonna have to let me borrow the rest of those issues since I got that first one. Now I'm like, I want to know how this ends.
Yeah, no, it was a subtle twist, but it was like, okay, like kind of cool,
just enough.
Yeah, because it explains everything that has been going on, like all the weird stuff that happens. But this book, there's like one page in particular that I was just like, damn, dude, it's sick. But yeah, he discovers what happened to his family. He discovers what's happening with the animals, like in the barn and stuff. Meanwhile, on the outside of town, the cops have been investigating like arson and stuff that's been happening within the town, and they kind of have a hint as to where it is, the origins of this place are. That's a pig. That's Senior Pig. But look at that. Like, look how cool that shit is. Yeah, no,
that's really awesome. The art in this book is bananas.
Yeah, it's like some pages it's like, well, that's like weird, I don't like it, but then it fits so well with the story.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to enjoy this book this much. It is the weirdest book I've ever read. I think, like, right up there with it at least, but for 4 issues, this was a fantastic book.
All right.
I love how it tied up.
That's good.
Yeah, I just loved how, like, violent and weird it was. I did not guess any of it. I could not guess it. There's no way you can guess what happens in that book.
All right. I love that.
It's weird as hell. Yeah, that was the last one, and I'm glad that it ended like that, but I wish there was more. I want a story from the pig's point of view. So next I have Abbott 1973. This is issue number 4. I believe there's one more after this. Our main character is just trying to hunt down her girlfriend, and stuff is not going the way that it's supposed to. That's it.
All right.
Because, I mean, not a whole lot happens in here. It's just you get a little bit of a backstory with how those two met to begin with, and then you get the guy who had kidnapped her girlfriend. You get a little bit of his history, which ties into hers. But it's not like... I didn't care for it. There was the art in one page was like really cool the way that they did it, because he's a murderer, so once she like frees all of them and shit, like I don't know why, but her face, I was like, yeah, dude, kill him. Fucking kill him.
Those are some Jack Kirby looking faces.
Yeah. That's probably why I liked it so much. Like all the eyebrows, I was like, they all have the same eyebrows.
That chin.
But I feel different about each of them. I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah, no, it's good.
But yeah, so there's one issue left, so we'll figure out how she's going to defeat the Umbra.
So you haven't, like, how do you feel about it overall?
It's an interesting story, for sure. It's more of a mystery than anything else, which I think is the really cool aspect, because she's an investigator, so, or like a writer for a newspaper, but she investigates and
Investigative
stuff.
journalist.
Yeah, so she is using that part of her brain to do all of this research and like work and stuff. So I think that aspect of it is really cool. The magic system is confusing, but it's also, despite it being a main thing, it's more of like a side story, because what it really is she's just trying to find her girlfriend who had been kidnapped. So I don't not like it. I just like, and it's written really well too, especially the characters, they're all fleshed out very well. But I don't think, like, if there was another series, I don't think I would read it.
All right. Yeah.
It's not bad. I am who I am.
I get you. I know who you are.
Yeah, you know.
All right, I have Beta Ray Bill. This is issue number 2. I won't go much into this just because I know Heather has the first couple issues to read and catch up on. I will just say I absolutely love the shit out of this book. It is so good. I wish this was an ongoing series. Honestly, Daniel Warren Johnson is just so good at writing, at art. Mike Spicer just colors his stuff so brilliantly. It's hard to describe. I feel like anytime I read a Daniel Warren Johnson book, I
love him.
I'm absolutely pleased beyond words. Like his Wonder Woman Dead Earth is great. Murder Falcon, I know I've talked about it time and time again. It's one of my favorite books ever written. Like,
that's how I wear my outfit.
Forever.
Look, I was tucking his shirt into his pants.
So yeah, I think if you enjoy Beta Ray Bill, if you like any sort of Thor stories, this is definitely worth it. There were a couple lines in here that hit just like so well. I think it's oddly relatable. Like,
Well, it's just some guy trying to find his way.
Well, and it's not just that. It's just, like, somebody who, like, can't find the love for themselves because they feel like other people are, like, outshining them, even though they have, like, just all of this goodwill, but because of their appearance and the way people perceive them, you know, it's just, it's hard. And I think it, like, captures that really, really well. And I think it captures the idea of not loving yourself extremely well, which is fucking bananas and weird for a goddamn Beta Ray Bill book. Just, like, you know, and it's just like Murder Falcon, where it comes out of, like, left field, and it's like, hey, I'm just gonna, like, slap you around with some motions.
You feel like crying today?
Like, and it's like, well, damn, dude, I wasn't expecting to read a Beta Ray Bill book and just hate myself and try to love myself at the same time, but, like, thanks, dude.
I can't wait to read it.
I think that's all I can say, because I just think it's, like, I'm really excited to see where it goes. Like I said, I just wish it was ongoing, because I could read this book all day, every day.
Yeah.
I love it.
Clap for Beta Ray and his feelings for himself. We get it.
Yeah. Just say.
I understand.
I know what it's like to look weird as fuck.
That's why I like to be funny.
That's why we do a podcast.
So people don't have... Oh my god, my speaker just went out. That was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it happened to me.
Okay, it's back. Don't worry. This is Detective Comics. Oh, there it goes again. This is...
Just
I can't tell if it's just my ear, because remember I've been having, like, problems with my ear, too.
It could be the thing, because mine's gone out.
This is issue 1035. This is a continuance of the last story where Sarah Worth goes missing. It just kind of talks more about that. And then the second half of it is a story focused on Huntress and how she deals with her life.
I didn't get a chance to read this one.
Yeah.
This was at the end of my pile, and I was distracted.
It was... I will, at this point in my life, read anything that Dan Mora draws. I don't care what the story is, I'm just going to read it. I enjoy this story quite a bit, and not just for his art, which was a big surprise to me. But honestly, in my opinion, the second story, the one about Huntress, was beautiful. I absolutely loved it. That's all I'm going to say about it.
All right, I'm excited to get into it. I plan to do it tonight.
Okay, I have... Sorry, I'm trying not to
get
my fingerprints
don't put
on
your
this
hands on that
expensive
thing.
book. I'm just kidding. I don't care. This is Black Widow. This is issue number 6. You know, Ms. Black Widow just doing her thing and recruiting young girls into...
Ms. Black Widow. Excuse me, Ms. Black Widow. How do I murder a man?
Yeah. Ms. Romanoff, please help me. She, you know, after she had been kidnapped and brainwashed and stuff, she leaves her husband and her kid, sends them on a completely different life, and then she goes out and continues Black Widow biz. Within this, I don't know, she's going on a mission, she's doing stuff in this building, but it's also flashback or separate timeline to her at, I think it's a farmer's market. I'm going to pretend that's what it was, because imagining Black Widow shopping at a farmer's market is really funny to me.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And someone tries to pick her wallet from her pocket and fails, and Natasha recognizes that this girl is very good at what she does. She's quick, she's, like, fast on her feet, so she thinks about potentially recruiting. Which is why this issue is such a big deal right now, because it is the first appearance of the new character. I can't remember what her name was. You know how I
I was saying.
I can never remember.
How could you?
She ends up giving her a fake name, and that's why I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
What's your name? Marigold.
Have you ever shown me the art in this book before?
Yes, because in one of the issues there was, like, a spread where she was fighting all throughout it. But
yeah, I do remember that.
This is
why so good.
I know, part of the reason there's another page where she does that too, where I just absolutely lost my mind. Yeah, the art in this book is just, like, so good, I cannot even handle it. And that's honestly...
I just like the panel setups and colors in that one.
There.
Yeah, it's really great.
Ooh. Yeah, I love this book. Surprisingly love the story a whole lot, but the art is what kind of brought me into it and what has been keeping me here. Ms. Romanov, if you nasty. Patrick, you know!
Yeah, that's good.
Know. I can't snap, remember? That's why I keep trying.
I just felt like the snaps were worth it. That was a snap.
Yeah, no, that was
snap-worthy.
very snap-worthy. Patrick, you deserve double snaps for that. If only I could snap. I have Shadow Service. This is issue number 7.
Jesus, dude.
Good thing this book is just kind of whatever to me. I just threw that book. I chucked it out of here. I said, I don't want you anymore, apparently. Main character, Gina. She is a rogue. Well, she was a spy for the MI666, but when she found out that they were going to kill the man that saved her life, essentially, despite him being a bad guy, she exited the MI666 without their permission, meaning she is rogue now. And she saves his life, and so in return, he is trying to protect her, keep her safe, and blah, blah, blah. This also goes into a bit of her backstory and what happened to her mom after when she was little. She accidentally glued her stepdad to the inside of the wall. Which happens, I think, like in the first, second issue. I can't remember. The story is, it's one of those where I'm like, not hate reading it, but I'm also not liking it a whole lot. I just feel like I like it enough where I can't just stop reading it. I have to know what happens. I have to finish the story because I am kind of invested in these characters, especially Edwin the rat, who I think is very cute. He's an actual rat and he talks. I love Edwin. That's all.
You ready?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, we got Department of Truth. This is issue number 8. We're just chugging along on this little book.
You know, what's funny is I forgot to read issue number 7, but I read this issue.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to read issue number 7 to read this.
Okay.
So you're good.
Good.
Because issues 6 and 7 just focused on Robert, not Robert, I almost said Robert E. Lee. I'm thinking of other murderers right now.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's not a thing. It's Lee Harvey Oswald, if you please.
Anyway, it focuses on him reading the files in the basement of the Department of Truth and, like, getting into the history of that. And this just picks up where issue 5 left off about Cole Turner kind of figuring out more about the Department of Truth. You learn a little bit more about, like, his past and maybe how the Department of Truth has used him as well.
My favorite thing about this issue, and it's one that I mentioned probably 1 or 2 issues in, I said, are they ever going to talk about the Denver airport?
Yeah.
Boom! They touch on it.
Yeah. I think that's, like, honestly, that's a really great, cool part about this book is it does, like, pick and choose its, like, conspiracy theories, so if it's something you're aware of, like, it does, I think it will show up in this book. And I also, when they were going to the Denver airport, I was like, oh shit, you gotta be kidding me, like, they're doing this, and just, like, talking about all of the weird shit, and I'm just like, damn, like, I can't even imagine how James Tiny Onion's brain is right now. Because my brain would be just so fucked up, because, you know, like, the like research you would have to do for this book and the holes you would have to go down.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I have spent some time, and one of my best friends is DJ Bill, and if you know him as a person, you know he is stuck down a perpetual rabbit hole of conspiracy theories.
It's just like, I don't know, it's like, it does set, like, such a great tone for this book. It's so good. Yeah, no, it's really good. You go.
I was going to say, the art also has a way of, like, kind of pulling you in and making you feel crazy as well.
This first page, like, these pages, because this particular issue has, like, just a bunch of, like, pasted on, like, writing pages, like, around the edges to form the, like, panels, which, yeah, it's just so good. It's so good. And it's weird because...
Yeah, oh my god. It's... You know what it is? It's the Pledge of Allegiance.
Even better.
Yeah, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the Republic to... Yeah, this is literally just the Pledge of Allegiance. That's incredible! How did I learn how to read backwards, too?
It's just a really, really solid book all around. I think it just fits you into the story where you need to go and just takes you on a goddamn ride.
It is fantastic, and I love losing my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's and I love like the weird horror element of it too, because it's not like super overt and it's not super like subtle either. It's like right in a good place, and it's weird because I don't know if I'm like, am I scared by conspiracy theories?
Absolutely, 100% I am.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Is this book scary and horror because I'm scared of conspiracy theories, or is it legitimately like creepy to me? Like, is it the art, or is it like what the letters? Like, what about this is hitting me in the way where it's like some issues make my skin crawl. The like school shooting issue like made me angry, but also just like
uncomfortable,
very
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and that's how I feel all the time reading this. And I think that's the thing with conspiracy theories and the people who believe and don't believe them, is there's always, like they say, there's always a little bit of truth in whatever conspiracy there is. And the fact that some people take that truth and just run for it without even thinking about it, that's what makes me uncomfortable. And the fact that this is being put into this kind of form with this kind of art and making me feel crazy while I'm reading it, because I'm like, I know that's not true, but then in the back of my head I'm like, wait a minute,
this?
What is the kernel of truth in this? Which part is it? Good job, dude. You made me lose my mind.
You played me.
You played me.
I actually have a book.
Oh! Oh, thank God.
I just stuck it in a pile because I forgot you had that stack of 3. I Read the Body. This is issue number 4. Just like...
Absolutely. I think that's the part that confuses me the most about it.
Creepy people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because people, that I think that is the scary part about this book, is that, like, or Department of Truth, is that, like, people do believe this stuff. Like,
without questioning it.
Yeah, and I think especially the mass shooting at the school issue, where they talked about, like, there being, like, crisis actors and stuff. Like,
oh, right.
The fact that, like, I think that's why that book made me so uncomfortable, is because, like, people do believe that to such a truth, and then, like, that issue twisted a survivor, like a victim, you know, who lost their child, twisted their brain to even believe that. And it's just like, could that happen? Like, that seems unreal, but it also seems like incredibly plausible. Like, if you have people constantly emailing you about this thing, if you have people bombarding you, you know, and that's why those people, like, have restraining orders, have had to, like, change identities and do different shit. Like, that's just fucking wild. Mm-hmm. Like, that shit's just like, and I think that is probably why that book is so unsettling. Now, again, I Read the Body. This is issue number 4. I think, once again, when I get to the end of a Zach Thompson book, I'm like, do I get this? I have one more issue. I think I get what's going on. This issue, I really love how oddly, like, gory and strange this book is, and I really love what it's trying to say about social media and just being bombarded on a constant basis. It's just so gruesome. Like, the art and colors really fit so well, and I don't know, it's just so weird. It's so fucking weird.
I'm still blown away that I just didn't pick it up.
Yeah, I'll let you borrow it when it's all finished, because
okay.
I think you'll like it, and I think it'll go better altogether, but also I would not suggest reading it all at once, because some issues, like the second issue or third issue, I came out of it and my brain was just fucked up.
I love to punish myself.
Like, my brain was just destroyed. Like,
because it was gross? Or, like...
Because it was, like, it was super gruesome, and then it was just, like, bombarding, like, the way it did it. It was just, like, bam, 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 and I'm like, but could you just give me, like, a break? Like,
okay. It's good to know.
Yeah, it's really good. I really, really enjoy it, and like I said, I think it's just like with Lonely Receiver, you know, that last issue before the end, where it was so heady, and you're just like, do I get it?
Does this really make sense?
Am I understanding what this person is trying to say? And that's why I think I've started to like his work quite a bit, especially in this horror realm. It's just because I think I love that twist. I love kind of getting my brain a little fucked up, and then him being like, all right, well, let me just bring it on down.
I need to let you borrow that other one.
Yeah,
God, I wish I could remember what it was called. DJ has it, by the way. I asked him about it because I was like, "Hey, did I loan this comic to you and completely forget about it?" He said, "Yeah, this one." So I'm gonna have to take it from him and let you read it because I think you'd really enjoy that one because it was my first taste and it fucked me up.
Yeah, I just think he's a really solid writer, and I do like his influences you can see from like other horror stuff as well. Mm-hmm. As somebody who loves horror, and I know you can relate to that.
Yeah, it's heavy Cronenberg. For sure.
All right, go ahead. Now you talk about your legends.
Because I'm only going to say one cute little thing about this. So this is... I can't turn this page. Okay, this is Xmen Legends. This is number 3. This is the return of the original X Factor, is what it says. This story takes place before X Factor from 1986, issue number 43. I haven't read any of this. I have no idea. I read this issue and I have no idea what is going on. A baby goes missing. There's a baby. I think his name is Michael. He goes missing.
Michael Scott?
Yeah. See, there he is. As Jesus. There's a really funny page, though, where Beast... Oh, there it is. Look at that shape.
Yeah, it's
Look at the shape of his body.
His legs are so long.
Yeah, what is he doing? I have no idea what's going on in this book. I would not recommend this to anyone who has not read the older issues, because it is just stories between stories that already exist. Like, their own little, intermissions, if you will. So I did not read X Factor. I have not read any X Factor ever in my life. I didn't know there was an original X Factor lineup. That's all I have to say about that.
You really wrapped it up great today.
Thank you.
I'm really proud.
I went through 18 comics, guys.
You got it.
And I read every single one of them.
I am actually really proud of you.
Oh, I did also read Harley Quinn number 2. Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention that. I still enjoy it. I think it's super cute. It's just her going around town trying to right all of her wrongs and with the help of Kevin? I wish I had it in front of me. He wants to right his wrongs as well, and he doesn't believe that he is able to because of all the bad that he has done. And she says, if I was able to, then you should be able to as well. That's it.
Cute.
Yeah.
All right, so then lastly, I'm last. I have Cable. This is issue number 10. This wraps itself up in a couple more issues. And I'm really sad. Heather watched me have a kind of a fucking meltdown today.
Yeah, it was a complete breakdown. I was just counting books, and Champ was going, "What? No. They better not. They better not."
And it must have been an Amazon package. You're having weird things over there.
No, not now.
Okay, so this ends in a couple more issues. I'm really sad. Had a breakdown at work because I realized that Cable is not going to be part of the Hellfire Gala. I'm about 95% sure. We'll see as it wraps itself up. But Cable number 12 comes out June 30th. The first Hellfire Gala issue comes out June 16th. And they kind of hint at Cable not getting ready for the gala. And I don't know. I don't think they're going to kill him, but I do think I have a decent idea of what's going to happen at this point.
He's going to melt.
I don't know. I really love the series. I really like what they've done with all of it. I don't know if it's the Phil Noto art. I don't know if it's just the story itself, but I've been really drawn to this story. It's been weird. I don't know how I connected so hard with it. I am excited to see it, where it does end, just because...
how they're going to tie it up?
Yeah, I would like to see how they tie it up, and then I would like to see how they bring the rest of this into, Krakoa and into this world we already have, and if they're going to bring in old Cable, I don't know. Once again, I'm sad, excited, I have a lot of emotions. I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't want to miss my weird boy that I've come attached to. Who knew I would become attached to Cable?
Never would have expected it.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, we gotta go, because apparently somebody's knocking on this stranger's door. Who would have known?
It's probably them trying to get into their house.
Yeah. Why would they even do this to us? So we'll see.
They must know we're recording a podcast,
as
right?
always. So we'll see you next week. Go to your local comic book store, support them, support your friends, support your
Black and pink communities.
We love you, as always. Thank you. See you on the flippity flip.
Thank you. Later's on the Menjay, as they say it back home.
Where's your home?